It's October, and you know what that means. Spooky season is here. If you're like me, you're looking for games that capture the right mix of chills and charm. Today, we're diving into a game that strikes that perfect balance. And that game is Luigi's Mansion 3. I'll break down the game into three categories: gameplay, world, and content, and give each a score out of 10. Then we'll average out all the scores and put a price tag on it. So let's grab our poltergust and get started with gameplay. Luigi's Mansion 3 is a 1 to 2 player action adventure game where you take control of Luigi as he explores a haunted hotel. Armed with a vacuum like device called the poltergust, your goal is to rescue Mario and friends from King Boo by fighting ghosts, solving puzzles, and uncovering hidden treasures. You can also play solo or with a friend in local or online co-op using Gooigi, a gooey doppelganger of Luigi who solves puzzles and fights enemies together. The game delivers well-designed mechanics that are fun, intuitive, and satisfyingly engaging. Combat feels great, and as you progress through the floors, they slowly ramp up that challenge without getting too overwhelming. Each floor will have its own gimmicks to explore, with the tools at your disposal, and it was always a blast discovering all the hidden loot in the mansion. Part of your score at the end is related to how many gems you collect on each floor. Though I was focusing on the story, I found myself discovering a few on accident, but not nearly enough to get a good score in the end. The inclusion of Gooigi is a standout, adding a layer of complexity to both combat and puzzle solving, giving you more tools to play with. He will be your partner in combat, saving Luigi from impending doom, there to watch Luigi's back, and gumming up possessed chests. Luigi will help open doors and be an extra hand when Luigi can't handle things by himself. Luigi really becomes an extension of the player, and he can also be controlled by the second player, adding multiplayer capability. I also appreciate the pacing. This game lets you move at your own speed, which is perfect for those who want to explore every nook and cranny, or those who want to head straight for the bosses. Collecting money throughout the mansion feels rewarding and adds to the fun of exploration. It seems that every action you take might spew out some coins, so it's hard to resist destroying a whole room to find all of the hidden cash. That said, the combat system does feel a bit shallow at times, and at a certain point, each ghost is captured in a very similar way. While it's fun, it's not overly complex and might feel too easy for some players. Later levels often rely on adding more enemies, which doesn't necessarily make combat more difficult when you can use the ghosts stuck in your poltergust as clubs. I did end up losing all of my health a couple of times, but there is an item in the game that allows Polterpup, your ghostly dog companion, to revive Luigi to full health. There are a few moments, especially in places like the TV floor or the Egyptian theme levels, where I was unsure how to advance, which disrupted the flow of gameplay. Overall, though, the game explores its mechanics thoroughly and delivers a well-paced, enjoyable experience. I give the gameplay a solid 9 out of 10. Let's move on to the world. When it comes to the world, Luigi's Mansion 3 truly shines. The graphics are beautiful, and every corner of the mansion is dripping with detail, perfectly designed to feel like a spooky yet charming Luigi's Mansion experience. You can tell the designers took a lot of care to craft a world that is fun to explore with a limitless amount of hidden loot to discover. From the cute designs of the ghosts to the balance of lighthearted jump scares and funny antics, the atmosphere is fantastic. It's almost Shakespearean, the balance of tragedy and comedy between Luigi discovering some truly horrifying secrets of the mansion, to seeing him bond with Luigi, an extension of his own conscience. The humor and horror is great for all ages and is perfect at any time, but especially in October. The music is expertly done and reminds me of the iconic Haunted Mansion themes. The sound design is also so well done. From the suction of the plunger and the exercising of trash cans as you suck up their spirit balls with your poltergust, it will make you feel accomplished as Luigi celebrates. And then you get to smash them afterwards. Luigi's squishy noises as he squelches through a fence or slides down a drain are so satisfying, and Toad's squeaky little footsteps as you escort him to the elevator kill me. Each sound enhances the experience even more. Each floor of the mansion feels unique, and the attention to detail is impressive. However, I did feel that some of the bosses were a bit generic in their design. And while Professor Egad is integral to the game, he feels a little out of place, but I understand that he was probably from previous titles. Despite those small gripes, this is one of the best worlds ever crafted in a Luigi's Mansion game. I'd even argue it's the best in the series. I give World a 10 out of 10. Now, let's move on to the content. The content in Luigi's Mansion 3 is both dense and well crafted. The pacing is spot on, and even if you rush the storyline, you won't just breeze through the game. Each floor is packed with ghosts to fight, 6 gems on each floor, hidden boos, and challenges or puzzles to get to the ghost boss of each floor. The grading system, when you beat King Boo at the end, encourages you to collect everything, which is honestly the best way to experience this game. This is my first review where I completed the game for the review, and I have to say that I appreciate that I could accomplish this goal in a reasonable amount of time. Even after beating the game, I feel that there is much more to explore. This is also the second time around beating the storyline for me, and I still enjoyed it. And I'm considering playing it again and going for 100% completion, which speaks volumes to the replayability. EGAD does offer some helpful advice now and then, which is great when I got stuck. But the content might feel a little short or a little too easy if you're just pushing through the story. I completed the main storyline in about 10 hours, and at $60 that might seem a bit brief for some. If you're not into collecting, a good portion of the content might feel like a chore, but I think the overall experience is well worth it, especially for completionists. I give content a 9 out of 10. So that gives Luigi's Mansion 3 an overall score of 28 out of 30, which averages to a 9.3 out of 10. The game delivers satisfying mechanics, a beautifully crafted world, and plenty of content to keep you exploring. It's a bit on the shorter side for the price, but if you're willing to dive in and collect everything, it's well worth it. I'd value the game at around $45 to $50, and it has gone down as far as $39.99. But for Switch owners who are fans of spooky games, it's a must-have addition to your library. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review and want more spooky game recommendations this October, be sure to subscribe. See you in the next one.